Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another horror movie review. This time we're going to be talking about It Stains the Sands Red. So yeah, this came out a couple years ago now, and it was one I've been intrigued by for quite some time. And for some reason I forgot about it though, for some odd reason or another. I had came across it recently in a store I frequent, so it of course came back into my mind. I know, and I was like, "Oh shit! I have to see this. Look at it; it's right there in front of me." So I couldn't really pass that chance up. And like I said, that movie is It Stains the Sands Red. I have a Blu-ray right here. It stars Brittany Allen and is directed by. Let me just make sure. Yep, Colin Minihan. And it tells what is a pretty simplistic yet unique setup, and it, actually kind of does wonders with it. I ended up really liking this movie. Like I said, I had a lot of intrigue with this when I initially heard about it a couple of years ago, when I was going around to a couple different festivals and stuff like that. I'll admit, this film does have a couple more issues I didn't really expect. But at the same time, it's definitely by far one of the best zombie films I've seen in I don't know how long. After a movie like The Day of the Dead Bloodline, this was this was an incredible breath of fresh air. It says right here, the most original zombie movie since 28 Days Later. I did a review on 28 Days Later quite a while ago. I probably need to revisit that one. But then on the back of it, it says, deserves to be held in as high regard as Romero's original zombie trilogy. And I would argue that this is better than the majority of those movies when you really get down to them as films and acting and stuff like that. But different types of zombie movies for sure. To be fair. And another one here, Brittany Allen's performance is up there with the best the genre has to offer, which I fully agree with as well. But yeah, before we get into specifics like Brittany Allen's performance, like I said, the premise is simple, but it does wonders and it really executes it well, in my opinion. It's just water, don't worry. But yeah, I'll just read you the little sum up on the Wikipedia here. During the zombie apocalypse, Las Vegas residents Molly and Nick are on their way to meet up with some friends at a remote airfield in order to catch a plane ride out of the country. Their car gets stuck in the sand and a lone zombie kills Nick. Molly continues across the desert on foot, all the while pursued by the slow-moving but persistent zombie. Excuse me. I'm filming this really late for some reason. But yeah, anyway. I'll say that's the basis of it. It kills Nick, and I guess, spoiler there, but, it happens pretty quickly within the first 12 minutes of the movie, so you'll find that out pretty early on. So yeah, I was wondering, what all I could do with this movie, because through the first, little bit of it, I was thinking, okay, how much can they actually do? Is it going to feel like, that should have been like a short film or something? Maybe this should have only been like a half an hour long thing at most. And I was thinking of that briefly. But it held my attention for the majority of the runtime, and I wasn't really expecting that. And a lot of that is due to Brittany Allen's. Why do I keep on saying alien? Why do I say alien? I don't know. Anyway, a lot of that is due to Brittany Allen's performance. I have not seen much of her, but it had me looking into her filmography after the movie was over. And she delivers a really very capable and at times strong performance that I liked quite a bit. I seen some reviews on this film. I thought there are definitely some positive ones, but there are also more mixed ones than I expected to see. Some said her character is kind of generic, kind of like the she's done wrong, but she has a heart of gold kind of thing, and, I guess, but in this, I think it was done without sort of rubbing it in your face. I thought it was subtle enough, but also it tugged at me briefly a little more than I thought it would towards the end of the film. But we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But just her performance alone, I thought she really hit it on all cylinders. Because when we first see Molly here, especially when she's with Nick, she kind of comes off, sort of unrelatable, because her and Nick kind of come off just like this dark horror comedy, druggy couple kind of thing. And they're funny together. They, banter. I don't know if he's just her dealer, her pimp, or kind of boyfriend. I don't know. But it's her travels with the zombie following her, and how she's she has supplies. She has water for a while, and different snacks and stuff like that. But it's through her travels. It's like over 30 miles she has to walk. That as she grows more and more weak, we start to see more of who she actually is as a person. We start to see sort of flashes of her life and stuff like that as well. Mainly the things that really concern her when it comes down to it. Because when she feels like her life's finally dragging and sort of in danger here, obviously, she starts to see what's important again. And this sort of gives her a kick in the ass in a pretty bad way. And by that I mean it's unfortunate it had to happen this way for her, but it does. We see that she has a son, who she's neglected, and she's left to be taken care of by a couple she knows. Who she just sees as being better parents, for the kind of person she is at this point. But she's remotivated to try and be there for her kid, of course, after being in this traumatic experience, as well as eventually getting into contact with her son on the phone, and eventually discovering that the couple has been killed as well, and and send each other off in pretty traumatic ways. The kid's been hiding under the bed, so. But I was surprised with how much they ended up doing with the movie, because I was wondering how much it was just going to be in the desert and her walking. They easily could have had that be stretched out the whole runtime and had it end with something ambiguous out there or something. But it tried to do more with the character and the story, and I think it succeeded. Her and Nick, were trying to meet up with this guy, like I read, to get out of the country, and eventually she does get to the airspace and stuff like that. Airfield, I should say. And of course, it is engaging with the zombie for a while. But I was actually glad they didn't try and make it the whole movie, though, because it probably would have gotten a little bit tedious, and it almost did, but I think it stopped itself before it really got into that territory, which was really nice. It had a pretty nice pacing to it as well. And there is a lot of suspense. There's no jump scares really. There are probably a couple, but I don't really remember any of them. So it definitely means I didn't really rely on them. A lot of it is built on suspense, especially in the beginning. There's when they're hiding in the car. I think that was actually kind of a little nerve-wracking. And then various points where she fumbles a little bit, or has to slow down for whatever reason. It's all suspense. So I really appreciate that aspect of the movie as well. and it's definitely it's definitely threatening, you know, because she's gonna run low on energy, she's gonna get dehydrated, she's gonna get sunstroke or something. But of course, the zombie, the undead can't, so it can just endlessly keep up on her and keep pushing her. So, that part I think they utilized pretty well. Eventually, she's getting so worn out, so she tries to talk to the zombie, and that's when it gets a little bit comedic, and I think it actually worked. It was really natural. Again, an example of Brittany Allen really just hitting on all cylinders with this performance. She's quite funny as well. She gives him the name Smalls. She ends up assuming he has a small dick and everything like that. I just like the different banter that she came up with for Smalls there. But really a lot of it was born out of her sort of like arguing with herself and her own psyche. So I thought that was pretty interesting too. Like I said, it's not the whole movie. She gets to the airfield. Of course, she ends up deciding to stay because she once again contacts their son, realizing she doesn't want to leave the country. And she meets with the guy that her and Nick are going to meet up with, but he takes off anyway when she chooses to stay behind. And we get a few other decent zombie kills because she has to look for a set of keys to get to a car that was left behind. So that was nice as well to get a drill one. So that was cool. Another funny part of the movie is actually the thumbnail here for my video. She has a big rock and she's lobbing him at the zombie throughout the movie, Smalls. And when he gets close, she's like ready to like really just hit him right on instead of just throwing it at him. She just drops it and sort of takes off in this really cowardly jogging motion. It got a chuckle out of me for sure. But it also, like I said, it engaged me and it made me care in a way I didn't really expect towards the end as well, like I mentioned earlier. Because as she's driving to get to the house and hopefully to get her son, you see the flashes of her with him, and I found it quite touching. And of course, when she gets to the house, she finds that I think the guy ended up being turned or something like that, or the woman, she ended up being bitten and she burned herself. So that's definitely very grim. But the kid ends up being hidden away in one of the little like toy, small little castle things. And it's nice, because when they're on the phone, when she said it's mom, the kid didn't even think of her right away necessarily. He didn't know if it was the woman he was left with, or she had to say Molly. So that just shows how long they've been apart. But the kid of course gets into her arms, and it's nice. And they get downstairs, and then it's a little bit darker out, and there's quite a few zombies outside actually. Eventually they burst in. Molly tells the kid to stay behind her no matter what. And, she has the shovel, and that's where the movie ends, which is a little bit frustrating. It's a little ambiguous. A lot of independent films, both horror and otherwise, are known to end with that kind of thing. And it's clear, Molly is probably overwhelmed at the end, which is kind of sad, and her kid as well. But she definitely came full circle in her life, and that's something that I don't think she was realizing, and that's something she can take to her grave, I guess. So I like the ending. I was fine with it. But yeah, this was a really good film, actually. Not only because of Brittany Allen's performance, but because of the dynamic character she played, the unique setting for the unique premise of a zombie film. And it was just really well shot as well. I mean, the lighting, the way the colors looked in the desert, it was really, just looked very visually pleasing. Which I really admired and appreciated as well. And it was also nice because she forms this sort of attachment to Smalls as it goes too, which I've seen some reviews say it kind of jumped the fence for him a little bit, because Smalls actually ends up deciding not to bite her or really attack her at one point, even though when he gets sort of pushed and aggressive with some others later, I think he ends up nicking her, so she has to sort of bash in her own finger. which is brutal, by the way. And she also is actually raped by this couple of guys that she tries to get a ride from, towards the later part of the movie. But they end up being escaped convicts, which is kind of convenient, a little bit too much of a coincidence. It was, I didn't like seeing that happen, obviously, and it just contributed to sort of like her broken psyche that she was trying to just pull together out there. But she tells Smalls what happened, and she'll just have to deal with it, and she'll have to try to find somebody to get past it, if she can. But yeah, and in that moment, that's when Smalls kind of played the anti-hero zombie when he devoured one of them, the other guy took off. But at least the main guy that did it actually got devoured, so that was nice. But yeah, if I had to rate Saints of Sans Red, I had it at a B+, A-. But I honestly think I could watch it again, maybe get it at an A- or more, I don't know. But I think it's just a very good zombie film. It's not like the action, blood and gore type of thing that some people are probably wanting. But I think it's by far one of the best I've seen in I don't know how long. I can't really remember one that I think was better that I've seen. So yeah, definitely one worth checking out, I'd say. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.